The loudest people in the room are often the most afraid. When someone is desperate for you to see them as untouchable, successful, powerful, or perfectly happy, you aren't looking at confidence, you're looking at a mask built to hide a fracture. Imagine a perfectly polished gold statue. It looks flawless. Then a tiny crack appears, revealing cheap metal underneath. The crack didn't create the weakness, it exposed what was already there. People work the same way. Overcompensation is a psychological shout. The harder someone works to convince you they're a certain kind of person, the more carefully you should ask what they're trying to hide. Today, we're decoding the architecture of overcompensation, how to spot the effort behind the persona, and what that effort reveals about the person underneath. Once you hear overcompensation for what it is, you'll never unhear it. The first mask is the expert. You'll know it when a simple question triggers a 10-minute lecture. Jargon, name-dropping, buzzwords, unnecessary complexity, none of it is there to inform you. It's there to insulate them, the one sentence they struggle to say. I don't know. For the expert, uncertainty isn't a lack of information, it's a lack of safety. That's why they overexplain. Not because you need more detail, but because every extra sentence reassures them that they still deserve to be seen as the expert. Now, watch what happens when their expertise is challenged. Not attacked, just questioned. Someone who is genuinely confident becomes curious. Someone protecting a mask becomes defensive. They explain more, correct more, prove more. The next time you hear someone over-explaining, don't listen to the words. Listen to the need to be right. That's where the mask leaks. The second mask is the moral mask. These are the people who constantly point out everyone else's flaws. They're always exposing hypocrisy, always correcting, always reminding everyone where the moral line should be. At first, it feels principled, then something starts to feel disproportionate. Psychologists call one explanation for this reaction formation. A person hides an unacceptable impulse by embracing the extreme opposite. The louder someone insists, I would never. The more carefully you should observe what happens when nobody is watching. Watch for the contrast gap. How different is the public sermon from the private behavior? As Nietzsche warned, beware of those in whom the urge to punish is powerful. The moral mask isn't looking for justice, it's looking for a pedestal. The louder the sermon, the deeper the private cynicism often becomes. The third mask is the wealth mask. Luxury isn't the signal, overcompensation is. Some people own expensive things because they enjoy them. Others need expensive things because they need you to notice them. That's the difference. Everything feels just slightly louder than necessary. Designer logos, luxury brands, constant references to exclusive places. Status isn't being lived, it's being performed. Here's the stress test. Ignore the watch. Don't compliment the car, treat them exactly the same as everyone else. A person behind a mask will often become irritated. They didn't buy the object only for themselves, they bought it for your reaction. Ignore the reaction, and the mask begins to wobble. The fourth mask is hyper-independence. I don't need anyone. I'll handle it myself. I've always done everything alone. It sounds like strength. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's protection. If they never depend on anyone, nobody can reject them. Nobody can disappoint them. Nobody gets close enough to hurt them. Here's the stress test. Offer help that makes complete logical sense, not because they need saving, but because collaboration would clearly make life easier. A genuinely independent person can accept or decline without emotion. Someone protecting a mask often rejects the help immediately, not because they don't need it, because accepting it threatens the identity they're protecting. They're doing 100% of the work to avoid 1% of the vulnerability. The final mask is perfection. Everything looks flawless. Every story ends well. Every photo is polished. Every setback has already been turned into an inspiring lesson. No mistakes, no mess, no uncertainty. That's not confidence, that's maintenance. Here's the stress test. Introduce spontaneity. Can they laugh at themselves? Can they admit they were wrong? Can they handle harmless teasing without rushing to repair their image? Or does every unexpected moment create visible tension? Real confidence is flexible. Masks are brittle. The harder someone works to appear perfect, the less room they have to simply be human. Don't try to rip the mask off. People don't respond to truth, they respond to perceived threats. Instead, recognize the architecture. Every mask is protecting something. status, competence, virtue, control, perfection. Once you understand what a person is protecting, their decisions become remarkably predictable. You stop reacting to the performance, you start seeing the structure underneath it. And once you understand what a person is protecting, they become the most predictable person in the room. What is a mask you've noticed someone wearing lately? And what tipped you off? Let's analyze the patterns together in the comments. If you want to understand why people build masks in the first place, watch How to See Through Any Mask next. It's the foundation for everything we covered today.